Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. 5:40 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Was gonna look to start at 5:30, but that's okay. It's just dawn is just creeping in. It's probably best to wait. Now in a month, I'll be lucky if I can start before 6. It'll be so dark. But anyway, we have this very morning from 1880, not 1980, 1880, Windsor, Canadian, supremely smooth Canadian blended whiskey, owned today by Beam-Suntory. It used to be age 4 years. Now it's age only 3. Well, they used to have a web page for it on the Beam-Suntory website. Now they do not. It exists. That's all I can tell you. Is it famous and popular? Well, it's cheap. All right, $10.99 a bottle. Years ago, 45 years ago or longer, they used to have magazine advertisements for it. Maybe even, yes, 35 years ago. And what were the ads saying? We're better than Canadian Mist. Our chief competitor from Brown-Forman. Guess this was acquired by Beam a long time ago. Well, it's not saying a whole lot if it's better than Canadian Mist, because you say, wait a minute, are you saying Canadian Mist is bad? No. I actually never said Canadian Mist was bad. All I ever said was that it was dull. But by design. So they'll tell you it was created to be bland. So I guess if a whiskey's created to be bland and then it's bland, you can't complain. You could just choose not to drink it. Okay, so this is W. Windsor. Now, who is the competitor? Well, if you think Windsor Canadian is obscure, it's popular up north. Tyler Mansell said that was a gas station whiskey. You saw it all around Wisconsin and Michigan area. Always get Michigan and Wisconsin confused because you got they're connected to each other. So and they used to be both part of the Northwest Territories. Okay, territory, the Northwest Territory. Canadian Crest, special blend. I have the windows open, some of the windows open because right now it's in the 70s. We had a cold front come through. You say cold front in July in Louisiana? Yeah. Down into the 70s at night. Dry, no humidity. Well, less humidity. That's going to end later today, as the Gulf air creeps back in. Now look at this dark label. I don't even know if you can make it out. Crest, Canadian Crest with the maple leaf. It's a Sazerac. You can tell the Sazerac bottle. It's a Sazerac brand. Was introduced in, I believe, 2004. It's authentic, it says. It's a special blend, it says. It's approved by John James, it says. Whoever John James is. But whoever he is, he approves it. Canadian whiskey with natural flavors. Uh-oh. They say Canadian on here like 20 times, seem like. Well, I've seen big bottles of this, the big handle bottles. I've seen these. Bottled by the Founders Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah. No such company. It's Sazerac. they must make more money off of contract distilling than they make off of their regular products. I have a feeling down inside. Now, I know the Canadian Windsor is flavored. It is too obvious. And that's why I've been confusing it with the Sazerac flavored Canadian whiskeys, because there's so much crossover. I've caught a lot of trouble with this, and there's no crown on Canadian Crest. No crown. Most of the Canadian whiskeys will have a crown and a maple leaf. Well, it's got a maple leaf. Okay. Windsor. I've been to Windsor more than once. All right. Well, they're both the same color. Gold, amber gold. So, oh yeah, you might say, well, what was the Canadian Crest price? Hey, good question. Do you know that thing was $5.99? $5.99. So the Windsor Canadian is $5 more per bottle. And I went to Albertsons not long ago, like earlier this year, same price, $5.99. Now it's even cheaper if you buy the 1.75 liter. It's cheaper per ounce. For a milliliter, cheaper per ounce. We use ounces in America. I am in America. Except we use metric for liquor bottles and wine, because in 1980 Jimmy Carter and they said, we're gonna, James, you say, oh, that independent outsider peanut farmer from Georgia that became president, him, member of the David Rockefeller's Trilateral Commission. But anyway, they said metric is here, the metric system is here, and so they went to metric on the liquor and wine. But then that's about it. Then it all stopped, and beer never adopted it, and nothing else ever adopted it. I remember going through Alabama, all the signs were changed to metric. Highway signs, and then people complain. Then all of a sudden it went, George Wallace, the governor, went to metric and English system. And then they just abandoned metric all the way. By the late 80s, I never saw metric again in Alabama. I think maybe it was the 90s. I don't know. Nobody was interested in that. We want we want multiples of 3. We don't want to use that stinking 10. It's too easy. We want a challenge. We don't want everything divisible by 10. We want 12 ounces. 18 ounces, 24 ounces, 36, 32 ounces, 48. We want all these odd things, these strange multiples. We want 6 packs, 12 packs, 48, 15 packs, 18 packs, 30 packs, 24 packs. Okay. You say, George Wallace, wasn't he that racist governor of Alabama? Yeah, was, and then he wasn't. See? Oh, he was that opportunist governor of Alabama. You know what I'm talking about. The typical types. I'm all for segregation, but now I'm all against it. Why is that? It's better for my career. I've evolved like Hillary. Okay. What are these politicians' values? What are their true values? If you have to ask that question, you don't understand politics. The value is getting in the office and staying there. That's where their loyalty lies. Kind of like Godfather Part 2. You mean some of our guys would betray us? It's like, what kind of business do you think we're in? You mean some politicians are disingenuous? Then you ask, you're looking at me, I'm looking at you like Michael Corleone looking at Tom Hayden. What kind of business do you think we're in? It's politics. It's kind of like organized crime in a way. Okay. This one is very pungent in the nose, and it makes me think it's Canadian Windsor. Windsor Canadian. So, what does it smell like? Grain. A lot of grain, like barley. But even more than barley and wheat and rye, corn, maize, yellow corn grits. I need some eggs and bacon. This is like liquid grits. Now, if you don't like that, you wouldn't like this. Do I prefer the Asian, East and South Asian whiskeys that are using rice as a filler? Well, I don't necessarily prefer them, but you can tell a rice whiskey that fast over corn. Well, I can. You say, well, the Japanese whiskeys are made to mimic Scotch from Scotland, the Kingdom of Scotland. Yes. But I don't care about that, because as soon as you taste them, you can say, oh, that's rice. And the Scotch is, whoop, that's maize. If they're blended now, if it's single malt, well, then it's malt. Okay, so this is pungent in the nose. It's some candy corn and what about wood? Oh, yeah, a little bit of that wood down there. Used wood. White oak. From Northeast Alabama. Near Russell Cave. Okay. Spring of 1989. Okay. It's amazing. Fifth time aged in that barrel. Fifth time they've used that barrel. I could pick all that up. Not a lot of aroma here. Well, not as pungent. Let's say not as bold. There is aroma. Oh, look at that daylight coming in. Not so much candy corn or let's see, what is this? Maybe like a corn syrup type of situation. And well, you know what? A lot more rye spice. I'm getting hit with some pepper in the nose. And what do we know about Sazerac? We know that they like to make things unusually high rye relative to other mass-produced brands, and that's making me think that's a Sazerac brand that's produced especially for Albertsons and their affiliates. Okay. Who wins the aroma test? Well, the visual is identical. Aroma. I say pick 'em, even. You choose. This one, though, makes me think it's Windsor, also because of the honeycomb. Honeycomb. Like Canadian Club. And what did I say about Windsor? I get a feeling, I have a strong suspicion that the Windsor Canadian is just a young Canadian Club. Canadian Club, age 5 years. Windsor Canadian, age 3 years. Could it just be Canadian Club that they're letting go in the barrel for 3 years, pulling it out, sending it down to Illinois and bottling it? Oh, I would have a very strong belief in that. Can't say definitively, but I would put money on that. I would bet. Now, how would I prove it? I'd never be able to prove it. Ain't no way Beam-Suntory is going to tell you. Sazerac, could this just be a rebottled, could Canadian Crest just be a rebottled Canadian Hunter, or a rebottled James Fox, or a rebottled Canadian Limited? I wouldn't be shocked. You mean like a Dodge Aspen and a Plymouth Valari, or an Oldsmobile Forenza and a Chevrolet Cobalt? Yeah. Oh, wow. Cavalier. Yes, that same type thing. What was a Pontiac Phoenix and a Chevrolet Nova? Yeah, same type of idea. Yeah. I need to buy some more breakfast cereal, and I have a feeling I'm going to buy honeycomb, or a close approximation thereof, like the multi-meal variant. It won't be honeycomb. They make like comb of honey, jacks of apples. You know what I mean? I used to like Kaboom, but they got rid of it 9 years ago. Tears me up. Tears me up. How many other cereals can you get a smiley face, an olive green smiley face? You just can't. That was a weird looking cereal. It was kind of scary in a way. It had this strange clown face. Okay. Well, that is a harsh taste. It's not biting, but it's like, it's very mouthy, like it's. Now you say you talk a lot. I know, but I'm not a liquid. This is like, don't talk so much, you whiskey. Just drink, So. Do pick up some rye spice, but this one seems supremely smooth relative to that one. Uh-oh. Could I have possibly gotten the nose wrong? Sure, I've done it so many times. Why wouldn't I do it this morning? If only. Well, I'll give Canadian Windsor credit. It's sure making things challenging. Does it stand out? Well, no, not if everything's a challenge. It's not standing out, right? If it stood out, I'd just pick it and say I got it. Not have to struggle through it, talk about politics and Pontiac Phoenix cars and all of this. And I'm doing that because my mind is scatterbrained, and also because I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to think on it. Hey, do you like a whiskey that when you take a deep inhalation makes you shudder? This might be one for you. You see, you mean it's painful almost when you inhale it? Yeah, it's almost like, you don't need the ice bucket challenge like they had, remember, a few years ago? You don't need planking. You don't need to plank and put that on Facebook. Just sniff that and you'd be like, whoa. Now I feel the chilling glow. Whoo. Ouch. Now, a whiskey's got something going for it, and maybe in a bad way, when you sniff it and it hurts. Now, how many whiskeys can you get that do that? You might say, well, a lot for $5.99, I suppose. You sniff them and it hurts you. Okay, fair enough. little bit of nectar over her. A little bit of rye. All those Canadian whiskey cacophony of flavorings. Look, if you're looking for purified, legit bourbon, straight bourbon, don't look here. You say, yeah, you're too cheap to buy bourbon. You want to get $10.99, $5.99. A real man would buy bourbon and step up to the plate and pay some money. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Critic. I could show you something this morning that would shock you to the core. Yes. You would be stunned, dismayed, and disoriented if I showed you that. Then how you gonna feel? Played? Okay, daylight. Daylight, you know what? I like daylight sometimes. All right, then sometimes I like night. Anyway, this is a real challenge. Let me say that I would have to determine boy, the grain attack is so profound. You want a mouthful of grain? You like to have a mouthful of cereal grains? Here's your dedication. Here's your exemplification. Here's your mastication, because this is like eating liquid grain now. Fiery, burning grain. Oh, the burn. You say, what about the gentle warmth, like they used to say on Proper Hops videos, which inexplicably went off in 2011. You say, well, he probably got a life, and Joseph, his name was Joseph at Proper Hops. He probably got a life and did something productive. What could have been more productive than sitting in his bedroom with all those empty beer cases behind him, wearing that tie and short pants like Angus Young? All right. I used to like his videos. And he had his girlfriend on there for a while. But I used to think, boy, I wouldn't want to cross swords with her. She seemed cold, cold as ice. Nice looking, but then you say, well, that's not unusual. Nice looking and cold as ice. I know. It's probably more common than not. But I said, ooh, wouldn't want to tangle with her. But then you didn't see her anymore. And right after that, no more Proper Hops. But I'm sure she went on and got a degree, a college degree, and she's probably married today with children and whatnot. And do I have any issue with her? I don't even know who she is. It's a person on the internet like me. You don't know me. All right, like Leslie Gore said that. But Leslie Gore, why did I mention that name? Okay, enough comedy. Well, if you're having this much trouble, you say go to a psychiatrist. No, just pick the cheaper one. $5.99, $10.99. Well, why would I pay $5 more for something that I can't even pick apart from the other? I wouldn't answer. Long answer short, I wouldn't. I'd pay $5.99 for the Canadian Crest every time. Sorry, Beam-Suntory, you lose again. You know what? Beam-Suntory's been losing a lot. Is that my problem? It really isn't. Do I worry about it? I sure don't. Okay. I'm not interested in Beam-Suntory aside from trying their products. But on the other hand, I'm not too worried about Sazerac. Why should I worry about Sazerac? Oh, yeah, I know they're from New Orleans. Oh, yeah, I know they're owned by a guy and his wife who are from New Orleans. They give a lot of money to Tulane University. Great. They can't get a website straight after 6 months. Beam-Suntory done gutted their website. Not my problem. Either way, I don't care. And since I don't care, and since I can be unbiased, it's funny that in the past, that's the most comical thing. I've had people say, you're biased. Wow, man, if anybody is more unbiased than me, I'd like to meet them because I am absolutely not biased, okay? Could you have unintentional bias or hidden bias, or can it even be in your unconscious mind? That could be the case, I guess, if you believe in psychoanalysis. But I'm just telling you straight up, I don't have a favorite in this. I buy them and I try them. You might. I think the people that accuse me of bias are using projection. They're the ones who are biased, and they're, uh-oh. You say, uh-oh, more psychoanalysis. What is it, Sigmund Freud hour? Okay, all right, I'm sorry. I still think they're doing it. Anyway, go to Albertsons and get the Canadian Crest. Get the Canadian Crest because you're going to save $5 and you're not getting it. There's no drop off. You're not getting anything worse. Nothing worse. You're saving $5, getting it near, well, yeah, over half price. And furthermore, well, no, let's see, $5.50 would be half. Okay, so well, still you're saving a lot. And are you getting a wonderful whiskey? Are you crazy? For $5.99, you're not getting a wonderful whiskey for $5.99. But you could drink it. Okay, so I'll try to determine which is which, but it's meaningless because I can't tell really. Okay. John Neely call it almond extract. It is a strange taste, God, I admit. If you're only a bourbon drinker and you drink this, you would just, either you'd love it because it'd be so exotic, or you'd be appalled, like my friend David. Oh, he tried Canadian Limited. Oh, it tastes like licorice. He dumps it out. I said, oh, man, I didn't buy this to dump out, man. That's upsetting me, because he was about to go to international market and buy a whole handle bottle, a whole handle of it for $10.99. He said, I'm glad I tried it over here. Somebody likes it because they were selling out like madness, like mad love. Taylor Swift was so like mad love. They were selling that so much. Now, okay, I'm gonna get it done. Okay, so I think this is the, actually I do think this is the Canadian Crest. Woo! Finally got it right. It's way bolder and not as and is the Windsor smoother? Well, yeah. Whew, still give you the frisson. That's like the willies, you know that. These people around here, they get the willies. Okay, well, your final question might be, what is the purpose of these taste challenges? What do they mean? Why should I watch them? Oh, all good questions, all good questions. The purpose, you get to watch me practice. So, like Allen Iverson would say, practice. We're not talking about the game. We're talking about practice, right? Because that's how you learn to tell one from another. And I think I'm getting a handle on it. Now, by the time I get a handle on Windsor Canadian, it'll be over. But I'm starting to get a handle on it. You say, what does it mean? Oh, it doesn't mean anything. There's no Grey Gold here. Tasting whiskey at dawn. There's no Grey Gold. It's like all the rest of the beer, wine, and liquor reviews, hangouts. There's no purpose to it. Don't fool yourself. Don't let them suck you in. You know, don't fall under that spell, that illusion of grandeur, that illusion of power. It's just people drinking and telling you what they think about a product, and there's no real purpose to it. You say, "Oh no, you're wrong. I know a group. They're always doing beer reviews, and they're serious about it. They're on a quest, a great quest. And they're going to reach the mountaintop." Well, okay. It ain't no quest, believe me. All right. Am I being negative about it? No, I'm not negative about it. Heck, I watch them all the time. But I could watch Scooby-Doo. But I wouldn't watch that because I used to. But then when they brought Scrappy-Doo in, it seemed like it never was the same. Maybe that's why they brought him in, you know, because it was starting to really go down. And it's kind of like when they brought in Cousin Arthur, where you knew that was it. They couldn't think of anything new. Anyway, all right. So thanks for watching this fabulous, really, video production. And in 2 days, 2 days is not going to be a challenge, but it'll be better than this. It's going to be Seagram's VO versus Canadian Windsor. I really feel sorry. I felt sorry for Beam-Suntory just now. I really feel sorry for him Saturday morning. Oh, sorry, Windsor Canadian. You're about to get beat. You're about to get beat so bad. And then Sunday, oh, Seagram's VO Gold. That's going to be scary. Really scary. That'd be scary. I paid $22.99 for Seagram's VO Gold, and I paid $10.99 for Windsor. That'd be scary.